No, I would not eat a raw potato or a raw onion for supper. I'm a fussy kid. Fussy pig. A fuzzy pig or a fussy pig?
I thought you were fussy.
I thought you were fussy.
If you give a pig a raw potato or raw potato peelings, they're not really interested. Give them a raw onion, they have no interest at all. But if you cook it, mix it up with a little bit of leftover whey from cheese bacon, a little bit of grain from grist mill, whatever table scraps you have, they'll clean up everything. Really just comes down to basic.
They'll clean up every bit of it. Those pigs. Little pigs, little pigs. Let me in. Not by the hair of my chinny chin chin.
If your sow's going to have a litter of 10 or 12 piglets, you're able to bring them inside, keep them well alive for 6 or 8 weeks.
Do not
Gives you a lot of pigs.
cast your pearls before
A
sow.
lot more money in your pocket by the end of the year. By cooking their feed, you're not actually adding to your feed bill at all. You just get them to eat everything you feed them anyway. And they're very good at converting that to pork. You know, a lot more bacon and ham in your smokehouse. You like bacon and ham?
Ha ha, Marie. What's funny, Marie?
Looking forward to having litters of pigs here. We haven't had litters of pigs here for probably 15 or 18 years. We just bring in a couple of small ones in the spring from the farm. Use one for a demonstration in November and the other one in the back of the farm.
When will that be done?
But
When will that be done?
what?
That figure.
As soon as the weather really breaks, we're going to be putting that up this spring and summer. I'm not sure when it's going to be done. Last meeting I heard, we were going to have one guy putting it up. There's going to be times that Lee's going to need help, so I don't know. We're going to have to figure out the logistics.
Greek name. With a Greek title. Jesus, Greek name. Christos, Greek title. Name anagram with Amen, which is why I wrote Amen underneath name.
Have y'all seen fences like this split rail fence over here on your left?
Light. Love cannot be Greek or any ethnicity. Any particle your
The
ethnicity.
bottom tier is set up on stone.
Citizenship. Light, life, love, God has no citizenship, has no nationality, no ethnicity. Like it or not, it's just truth. It's just plain, clear blue sky truth.
Home, so it doesn't draw moisture off the
Clear.
ground and rot prematurely. We make them out of red oak, black oak, or white oak. As long as you keep the brush trimmed on our side, the livestock keeps it chewed down on their side so the air can circulate around it right out after a storm. Should last 25 or 30 years.
Birds are talking, Jack. What do you know about chickens?
We recently acquired a whole tractor trailer load of black locust headstock from down south. Most of the black locust in this area has been cut, but that's not the last 50 or 60 years. We split the trailer load with another museum we have a partnership with. Have you heard of Cogshell Farm down in Bristol, Rhode Island?
Cogshell Farm down in Bristol, Rhode Island.
The whole museum is about the size of the Freeman Farm.
The whole museum is the size of the Freeman Farm. 1790s coastal farm. I'm not making fun of the Zach. Well, maybe a little bit. because he eats pigs. Try not to hold it against him.
The last 3 years. Built a barn down there last year. Moved some sheep back down there and some chickens down there about 3 weeks ago. We're open just weekends now.
The spirit dance was unfolding. Ah, kawa, 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 kosekasa.
Time was money.
Who said that?
According to Ben.
Who said that? Who was that guy? Huh?
Cattle down there once we get the fences done. All takes time and money.
I thought time was money.
It is.
It is.
According to Benjamin Franklin, right?
Yep.
I forgot your name. You told me last year and I don't remember.
It hasn't changed. George.
George, that's right.
I'm playing today. It's the Freeman farm over here to your right. 70-acre.
70-acre Freeman farm. Thought time was money. I thought the owls weren't what they seem. Dollar Day survival sex. Ordination just I'm $40. It's nothing to see.
About a mile and a half from its original site.
It's nothing to
Route
me.
84 came through Sturbridge, just off the old Route 15. That brick smokehouse came out of Goshen, Connecticut. The village got that from Isaac Wadham. Isaac got the bricks from Herbie Brooks, the little that pottery shop over on the hill. Out beyond there on the left, we have a cooper shop. That was owned by the Nash family up in Waldoboro, Maine. Cooper is a gentleman that makes wooden buckets and barrels. Corn crib came out of Thompson, Connecticut. The big
A cooper is a gentleman who makes barrels and tubs. A cooper. Charlton. Where I am, I'm in Charlton.
This white house over here to your left is the Bixby house. That was the house of a blacksmith named Emerson Bixby. Lived up in Gary, Massachusetts. This whole building off to your right is the
Emerson
blacksmith
Bixby.
shop. We have a blacksmith working in the blacksmith shop all day today. We have staff at the Bixby house, Freeman farmhouse, the Cooper shop, and the pottery shop. There's some 21st century restrooms right over here on your left. out here if you wish.
San Francisco is the end of the line.
Have a good day. Bye. Sure, get right in. Don't let the heat up.
Don't let the
Come
heat
all
out.
the way back here. It's probably close to an hour. Depending on the traffic.
What's the next stop?
Probably 15, 20 minutes.
Telecomputer, Dale Cooper.
She's gonna walk and meet us in the next stop.
Hey, where's my belt?
Are the horses?
Make your bed, you gotta lie in it. The spirit dance was unfolding. Ah, power cow, Koseka-san. Ah, power cow, Koseka-san. Ah, power cow, Koseka-san. Dream so long ago.
No, sir, the Belgians. Belgians are the most popular draft horse breed in the market. They're number the Clydesdales, Shires, Summerfishes, Silver.
Grandma's gonna walk the stroller.
And they're Belgians. Like those nice. Just gonna water the horses quick and then we'll proceed, okay?
Skip the watering of the horses part, please. After that is the all the 1955 stuff. Did you just say it? I think he did the 1955 fire, and then I asked him if it had anything to do with the flood, the hurricanes.
The village moved that, they disassembled it. Numbered each piece, marked them north, south, east, and west sides, top and bottom. Even had detailed drawings and photographs to use as reference. Really quite a project.
Was the fire related to the hurricanes of 55? No.
Oh,
But it was the same year, right?
Same year, yeah.
Yeah, that's the Back to the Future year.
It's as if it's the temporal junction point of the entire space-time continuum. Or it could just be a big coincidence.
Yeah, I remember the news release that my father had kept when they got this building in. That they had finally found a building that wouldn't burn or float.
Wow.
Reflection of the last year. Yes.
There's a pillow inside the blacksmith area, and the person inside of there let me float pillows.
You let you pump the bellows? Yes. It's pretty cool. This building was over 300 pieces plus all the roof slates when they moved that. The mortar was a limestone base. We're actually able to regrind it and reuse it. All right, I'd like to thank you for your patience while we offered the team a drink. I'm sure they appreciated that. I'd like to ask again that everybody please remain seated. Were you going to rejoin us, sir? Okay, watch for your step. Joe, go. Go, buddy. Oh. That's not bad.
Got some new cards, business cards ready to go for the Blue Rose Task Force. Get the word out. So I only have a couple left.
Throw this in reverse and pull the teeth
Hopefully
back
we'll
up. Sit back into these britches, these heavy
no longer
straps
be
around the rear
obscure
ends.
soon.
They force that pole
But
that's in
that's not
between them backwards. It's the only
my
way you have it
jurisdiction.
back in this up. There's no hidden transmission underneath my seat anymore. You can't really start to appreciate what the horses do on a fairly regular basis. You realize this wagon weighs a little over 4,500 pounds. To turn the team to the right a couple of steps and kind of jackknife this thing around and pull the team to G. I'm going to bring them back to the left. I'm going to tell the team, no, apologize, pay attention. Pull off. Now, because we're hauling precious cargo here today, we're going to ask the horses to start very carefully. To do that with these two, you use a very low tone of voice. Snug up on the reins. Tell them to go ahead and ease back here. These two, you can verbally take up on the clutch. Try to give them a different command to the front end of this wagon right up the front. Generally don't demonstrate that with the public clutch for obvious reasons. This little red building down here to your right is a carding mill. That's where farmers would bring their wool, have it cooled out and processed into batting for quilts or rolls for spinning. That's the old Catford mill, originally from South Waterford, Maine. All the machines in there originally from that building. When the village moved out, we left each of the walls intact, split the roof of the ridge pole. You know when you pull the plug out of your drain, the water swirls in a circular motion? That tug wheel underneath there works on the same general principle. There's paddles on that wheel. We lift up the gate from the sluway, the water flows in, and as it drops, it turns it. Takes 80 gallons of water a second. Bring that up to a little over 1.5 horsepower. That was an important industry. According to the 1830 town census, we had over 4,000 sheep in the town of Sturbridge. Just 1830. You see the metal plaque just to the right-hand side of the handrail over here on the grist mill? See the plaque on the wall? That was the high water mark of the flood of 1955 here at the village.
The high water mark for the flood of 1955 at the village. Hurricanes Diane, and I don't remember the other one. Diane.
That flood was caused by 2 hurricanes within 6 days of each other. Connie and Diane.
Connie and Diane.
Diane took out the dams further on up the Quinnebog River. That's how high the water got right here. We had over 15 inches of rain right here in Sturbridge. At that time, we had the Freeman farmhouse, that red farmhouse up on the lane behind us. We had that over here in the field, just the other side of where that sawmill sits today. Water came right up to the second-story windows of that house. Village lost the original L on that building and one of the barns that went with it. Moved the rest of that up to where it is now in the spring of 1956. That flood changed the face of New England. There's places down towards Winstead, Torrington, Waterbury, Connecticut, where the high water marks are 18 to 20 feet up on buildings downtown. Destroyed the town of Putnam, Connecticut. There was a factory down there that had barrels filled with magnesium. So when the barrels went over the waterfalls, the best fireworks display you ever saw in your life. Literally lit up the sky about 6 miles from there. After that flood, the Army Corps of Engineers put in a series of dams along the Quinnebog River.
Quinnebog.
This is the second grist mill on this site. This is where we grind corn and cornmeal, or a mixture of corn and oats into provender, animal feed. When that's in operation, it's powered by this undershot wheel on the back corner. We can lift up that gate to the sluway from inside the mill. The water flows in just below the center line of that wheel. And the unbalanced weight of the water in the buckets turns it. That's a little more efficient. That only takes 75 gallons of water a second and bring it up to 2 horsepower. We can grind up to 4 tons of feed a day in there. The grist mills were the first mills to be regulated by the government. By 1830, you couldn't legally charge any more than 1/16 what somebody brought you to grind in the beef for grinding it. This sawmill over here to your right is actually the 5th sawmill on this site since the 1790s. This one is a copy. The Nickel Colby mill was up on Spectacle Pond in Bona, Hampshire. The village built this in 1983 and 84. Went with the reproduction because of the stress involved. That takes 300 gallons of water a second to bring that up to 17 horsepower. In 1830, there were 13 working sawmills in the town of Sturbridge. None of them ran year-round. They were all used by farmers to supplement their income in late winter and early spring. Plenty of water and not a lot of farm work. There were 2 grist mills. This mill pond over here to your left, it feeds the carding mill, the grist mill, and the sawmill. It was originally dug out with a pair of oxen and a scoop. And shod shovels, wooden shovels with metal rims on them. Back in the 1790s by a farmer named David White Jr. and his family when they owned the property. We dug that out in order to bring water power to the original sawmill they put on the property shop. When David first dug this out, it was fed by the little brook that comes down out of the woods. about a shoe shop. And after spending his first winter with a sawmill and logs in the yard and not enough water to saw him, he and his sons took on the task of digging through this drumlin, this sandbar, stretched from behind you on the right here, all the way over to behind where we have the Bullet Tavern today. Created this channel in front of you that this covered bridge spans, connected it with the Quinnebog River. And solved its water problems. They certainly knew what hard work was. It was originally a cedar swamp over here where this pond is. They cut off the tip of it. Dug out a thin channel down through there that's 10 to 12 feet deep. Put in that dam we just came across. Put in the original sawmill. They bought some of the property over on the other side and went Route 84. Eventually came through Sturbridge. In 1853, David's son, his original grist mill. They swapped in the porter mill. Hebron, Connecticut over there now. We're gonna be quiet when we get to this covered bridge. See, listen to the horseshoes striking the planks underneath them. Common sound in New England, 1830s.
1830s, New England. Universal Studios. Studio equals 88, English organ. Studios, plural, equals 107, like Warp Speed, military television, TV show, Judge Judy.
This covered bridge
Quantum
was basically
equals 107.
donated to Old Sturbridge Village by the Vermont Highway Department. It had been condemned. They wanted to put a steel and concrete bridge, for this one was, over the stick. Brook in West Dummerston, Vermont. Better suit the truck traffic on Vermont Route 30. Village got wind of it, and convinced them to sell this bridge to the village for $1. If the village will put themselves. Saved the state of Vermont thousands of demolition fees. $1 just made it a legal transaction. The village first brought that down from Vermont and disassembled it. Loaded everything on a 3 flatbed trailers and set it up in that little pitch in the river up there. Boom. Right about where those 2 white birches overhang the Quinnebog. The flood of... washed it completely off its abutments. Left it literally floating over here in the mill pond. 12 of the employees were stranded here during that flood.
1955 flood.
One of them was one of our curators at the time, a fellow named Herb Darby. Another one was one of our directors, Phil Spinney. Those 2 gentlemen saw this bridge when it started to shift off its abutment on one end. They got some ropes. They tied the other end of this bridge to some nearby trees in hopes that they could save it.
Bridge. Sturbridge. Village. Villa of
That's really what I'm saying. bridge up on Bowie so it wouldn't freeze in the mill pond the next winter. They're actually able to skid it across the ice the next winter in one piece. Set up where it is today in the spring of 1956. You might find it interesting to know that this bridge has outlasted 3 steel and concrete bridges they've replaced it with. Not bad for a buck. The village was actually able to reopen just 9 days after that flood.
Probably helps that you have no electricity.
But
It probably helps you.
this barn directly in front of you is the only building we have that didn't come out of New England. It was brought in from Schoharie, New York. It was actually first building was moved in 1937. Changed the roof on it. That's more New England style, Spanish architecture. And a small door on the opposite corner. Building over here, you're right, is Bullet Tavern. They serve 21st century food and beverage in a 19th century atmosphere. Cafeteria downstairs today, it's open till 3. Get out there quick.
Let me forget to order a hash brown today. Those are good. For just $1 extra.